Charles Leclerc set the fastest time on day 2 of Bahrain testing with a 1:34.273. But the real story was chaos in the garages of the two teams everyone expected to dominate 2026. Red Bull discovered a hydraulic leak during their overnight car build and barely made it onto the track, while Mercedes suffered an engine problem that limited Kimi Antonelli to just 3 laps all morning. Ferrari suddenly looks like they're finding their feet. Red Bull's reliability advantage from day 1 completely evaporated, and Mercedes' engine controversy just got a whole lot more complicated. Leclerc drove the entire day for Ferrari after Lewis Hamilton sat out, and the Monegasque driver was absolutely flying. He set his fastest lap about an hour and 15 minutes into the morning session, clocking a 1:34.273 on soft tyres. That's 4/10ths faster than Lando Norris managed on Wednesday, and Norris was on medium tyres when he set that benchmark. Leclerc ended the morning session 0.511 seconds clear of Norris, who finished second with a 1:34.784, also on mediums. The gap to third place was massive, with Pierre Gasly in the Alpine over 2.4 seconds behind. But it wasn't just about the lap time for Ferrari. Leclerc completed 62 laps in the morning session alone, and the SF26 appeared to be running reliably after the handful issues they showed on day 1. Leclerc spoke about the progress, saying, quote, "It was a productive half day of testing for me, as we were able to complete the program without any major issues, which is always a positive at this stage." The feeling was quite different compared to Barcelona, as the conditions here are very different, but that's exactly what we need, gaining experience on another track, and understanding how the car behaves in different scenarios. The big news for Ferrari is the correlation between their real-world data and simulator predictions. Leclerc revealed, quote, "So far, the data is broadly in line with what we expected from our simulations, which is encouraging. That's absolutely massive for a team that struggled so badly in 2025. If their simulator is correlating properly with the real car, that means they can develop efficiently back at Maranello." However, observers trackside noted that the Ferrari SF26 still looks like a handful to drive. Lewis Hamilton had a spin at turn 10 on day 1, and that corner continued to be problematic on day 2. Hamilton described the run into turn 10 as, quote, "the hardest that it's ever been here at Bahrain. The car appears responsive on turn-in, but it looked nervous and difficult mid-corner all around the track. Ferrari needs to turn that responsiveness into consistency to unlock the car's full potential." Now let's talk about Red Bull's nightmare morning, after Max Verstappen completed an incredible 136 laps on day 1 and impressed everyone with the reliability and electrical deployment of their new Ford power unit. Day 2 was a complete disaster. Red Bull discovered a hydraulic leak on the chassis during Wednesday night's car rebuild, and Isaac Hadjar, who was supposed to take over from Verstappen, spent the entire morning cooling his heels in the garage while mechanics worked to fix the problem. With just 1 minute left on the clock in the morning session, Hadjar finally emerged from the garage to complete a single installation lap. That's it, 1 lap. After the reliability masterclass on day 1, this was a massive setback. The team is understood to have found the leak and fixed it. But losing an entire morning session is brutal when testing time is so limited. Carlos Sainz, now driving for Williams, backed up Toto Wolff's claims from day 1 about Red Bull's power unit being the clear benchmark. Sainz said, quote, "It's still extremely early days, but if I would have to judge by the GPS data of yesterday, right now it is true that whatever Red Bull Ford powertrains were doing yesterday was a clear step ahead of anyone else. Not only a small step, but a clear step, and it was mighty impressive. So when Red Bull is running, they're seriously fast. The problem is, they need to actually be running." And then there's Mercedes. After their Barcelona dominance, where they completed over 500 laps and looked like the overwhelming favourites, Bahrain has been a reality check. Kimi Antonelli started the morning session and managed just 3 laps before Mercedes discovered an engine problem. 3 laps. That's absolutely nothing. The team was stuck in the garage for the rest of the morning trying to diagnose and fix the issue. This is particularly problematic for Mercedes because they're in the middle of the compression ratio controversy, with rival manufacturers accusing them of exploiting a loophole. Having engine reliability issues right now is the worst possible look. George Russell had a relatively quiet day 1. finishing 7th and 1.439 seconds off Norris's pace. And now on day 2, their running has been decimated by power unit problems. The early red flag on day 2 was caused by Sergio Perez in the Cadillac, stopping on track with what the team described as a throttle setup problem. The car was quickly removed and running resumed. But it's another sign that the new American team still has a lot of work to do. Perez finished 8th in the morning session, over 4 seconds off Leclerc's pace. Lando Norris had the highest lap count of the morning with 64 laps, despite having a late stoppage that brought his session to an early end. McLaren continues to look solid and consistent. The reigning world champion is carrying the number 1 on his car, and McLaren appears to be in the fight at the front, despite not setting the absolute fastest times. Williams had another strong day with Alex Albon, completing 62 laps in the morning session and finishing 5th fastest. After missing Barcelona entirely due to production delays, Williams is making up for lost time and gathering crucial data. Their lap count over 2 days has been impressive. Haas continues to impress, with Ollie Behrman finishing 4th in the morning session. The American team running Ferrari power units completed 55 laps and appears to be making solid progress. Alpine's Pierre Gasly was 3rd fastest, but still 2.4 seconds behind Leclerc, showing how dominant the Ferrari was in the morning. Aston Martin's struggles continued with Fernando Alonso finishing 9th, over 4 seconds off the pace after completing 55 laps. The AMR26 with its new Honda power unit is clearly having major issues, and Adrian Newey's first design for the team is not showing the promise everyone expected. Here's what's fascinating about day 2. The pecking order from Barcelona and day 1 has been completely scrambled. Ferrari looks strong when they're the team everyone wrote off. Red Bull showed they're the benchmark when running but can't stay on track. Mercedes is having engine problems right when they're under fire for their compression ratio design. And McLaren is quietly racking up laps and staying consistent, while everyone else deals with drama. There's still one more day of this first test on Friday, then a second 3-day test from February 18 to 20 before the season kicks off in Melbourne on March 6 to 8. But day 2 proved that testing is about more than just lap times. It's about reliability, consistency, and actually being able to run your program without major issues. Ferrari did that today. Red Bull and Mercedes didn't. So where does this leave us? Ferrari is showing genuine signs of life, with Leclerc going fastest, and the data correlating with their simulator. Red Bull's power unit is mighty impressive when it works, but hydraulic leaks cost them a full morning. Mercedes is struggling with engine reliability at the worst possible time, and the fight at the front is wide open with no clear favorite emerging. What do you think? Is Ferrari really back in the fight? Can Red Bull fix their reliability issues? Are Mercedes' engine problems related to the compression ratio controversy? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more F1 news. I'll catch you in the next one.